That was a computer's impression of what a song today may sound like by Kurt Cobain. I was scrolling around the internet when I found this video, essentially talking about it's been 27 years since Kurt Cobain died, however you want to look at it. It's been 27 years since Kurt Cobain has been with us, and they decided to try to generate this music about what a Nirvana song today would be like by analyzing how he played. Now this seems to be a recent trend, having analytics understand musicians who've passed and writing songs in their style. I'll include this video in the comment, but that's not what today's video is about. That's just what sparked it. We are talking about the 27 Club and some of the 27 Club's members, one of which obviously being Kurt Cobain. Now, to talk about all the musicians who've passed away would take a much longer video, so I'm going to mention only a couple of my favorites. And that'll be today's theme, so stick around. The 27 Club essentially is a group of musicians who died when they were 27 years old. When you die when you're at 27, it's normally not a natural cause, to begin with. Now, just a heads up for people watching, I'm 28, the ship has sailed. I'm not trying to die anytime soon. We're starting with Robert Johnson. Now, Robert Johnson was a man who was so good at guitar, people claimed he sold his soul to the devil. Essentially, he disappeared for a period of time, came back, and was playing music at a level that far exceeded a lot of people. And also, his death happens to be mysterious. There is not an official cause, though a lot of people believe Robert Johnson was poisoned either by a woman or a woman's boyfriend. You see, Robert Johnson had a habit of going town to town, being a traveling musician at that time. This is like 1930s. He died in 1938. So they didn't have the same sort of systems, styles, everything we had today. Essentially, a musician's way of making a living was to go from place to place playing music. So Robert Johnson made his rounds playing music. Luckily, he happened to record 29 songs before he passed. Those 29 songs have influenced some of the biggest guitarists of today in one way or another, or influenced somebody they're influenced by. He died August 16th, 1938. Now, the next member of this club I think is the most famous, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was probably the most influential guitarist ever, possibly one of the biggest musicians or coolest musicians ever. His mystique is otherworldly. He was really good. I'm a very big Jimi Hendrix fan. If you play guitar, you are. Or if you're a music fan, you should be a fan of his. His style, along with an outstanding amount of showmanship, was based in R&B and blues. He was way ahead of his time, a fusion player way before fusion. If he kept going, he would have gotten weirder and crazier, and it would have been awesome. Now, Jimi Hendrix unfortunately died September 18th, 1970 in London. Though Jimi Hendrix was originally American, he didn't get successful when he went over to London, and that's where he spent the rest of his days. That's where he spent most of his time. That was his home. He died in a pool of his vomit. Jimi Hendrix obviously had a history of drug use. Unfortunately, we all have our vices. And you gotta remember, our heroes are human. Next, I want to talk to you about Pigpen. I'm sure a lot of you know by now I'm a pretty big Grateful Dead fan. Ron McKernan, or Pigpen, was the original keyboard player and the best singer in the Grateful Dead. Honestly, he was probably the best singer, throughout the entire Grateful Dead's legacy. And he was one of the main founding members. In fact, people used to say that the Grateful Dead was basically Pigpen's band. He had all the energy. He was carrying the group in their early days, and he was keeping them grounded during all of their psychedelic acid testy stuff. Pigpen was the one who was keeping them at that blues core, which really helped them get off the ground. Now, unfortunately, Pigpen also had a use of very heavy drinking, and he began to experience some health concerns as he continued on. Eventually, on March 8th, in 1973, he was found dead by his landlady of a gastrointestinal hemorrhage. This was absolutely devastating to the Grateful Dead. Jerry spoke at the funeral and said that he knew the original Grateful Dead was gone. The original Grateful Dead was Pigpen's band. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Now, this next member is going to be the last one I talk about. The last member is Kurt Cobain, as you might have guessed from the intro. Now, Kurt Cobain was revolutionary in a lot of musical senses. He invented a style that was brand new. He turned on grunge, he kept the attitude. He tore down a lot of the arena rock of the 80s by himself, essentially. Or he started rolling the ball. Kurt Cobain died April 5th, 1994, at the age of 27. Unfortunately, a victim of suicide, with a large amount of heroin still in his system. Luckily, a member of Nirvana is still playing music today. Dave Grohl, you know, the drummer for Nirvana, the main guy in the Foo Fighters. He's still around. Now, there are members of the 27 Club I didn't cover. For example, there's Jim Morrison. There is Janis Joplin. There's Amy Winehouse, to name a few. Unfortunately, dying at 27 occurs more than it should to a lot of talented and inspirational musicians. That'll do it for today, folks. My name is Richard Durazo. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, just hit the like button. It helps more people see it. Leave a comment about whoever is your favorite member of this club. I'd love to hear it. If you want to see me do another one of these videos, there are more, unfortunately. Otherwise, thank you again. Have a good day.